What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? Testing one, two, three. Calling Jessica Herder. Testing one, two, three. Can you hear me, Jessica? Can you hear me?
Nope, can't hear
Yeah, can't hear me? All right.
you. Can't hear you, can't see you, nothing.
Right. All right. It's a great day. Another awesome training. Looking forward to it. You know, lots of great, cool stuff that I'm excited to share for today. Let me give it another minute or so, wait for a few people to jump on in, and we'll go ahead and get started. How's your week been?
It's been okay. I mean, it's just basically the start of the week, so it's. I mean, there's there's nothing to really write home about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get it. I get it. You know, getting the jam going.
Yeah. Now I got clear to close today for a buyer on one of my listings, and hoping that another one is going to be the title will be clear. Hopefully by the end of the week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, we just we're just waiting on probate.
Mm, okay.
But she's got to close up here before she can close on her loan down there. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
unfortunately, that's holding that up.
I got you.
What happens when a seller doesn't listen to you when you say you gotta probate your husband off the house before you could sell? Only told her in August.
Oh gosh. Well, don't want to express what I truly think, but hey,
Well,
since we're on the live feed.
then the paralegal says, husband, yeah, he passed away, and I told her that she's got a probate, but
I hear you. I hear you.
so that's we're almost there.
That's where we are. Well, cool. What's up, Danielle? It's good to see Danielle on and Camila.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going? How's Naples?
it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Are you're not dealing with the snow that New York is dealing with, right? Like, because
Absolutely not.
Jessica's up in New York, so I think Jessica, you and Danielle should hook up so that this way
We
all the
don't
New
have
Yorkers.
snow.
You guys didn't get snow in Albany?
No. Connecticut got it. We didn't get anything. And then I think I don't know, Buffalo may have gotten some. I have no idea, but where I am, we don't have any.
Here you. No, get a chance to connect because I know there's a lot of referrals going around these days. So cool. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started, get jamming. And today's topic is going to be on building strong referral networks, right? And before I jump into it, I just had a question that I wanted to ask everybody who's watching. And before we jump into the strategies, you know, take a moment to think about the most memorable referral you've ever received, right? And I want you to picture this because part of today's class is in light of next week. If you are a KW agent, great. If not, that's fine too. But if you're a KW agent, you have family reunion happening in Las Vegas next week, and that's where a ton of referrals are happening. And if you're with a different company and your company has some sort of a conference, this principle, these practices, these best practices will apply. So I recommend that you take notes. So going into it, when you think about the most memorable referral that you've ever received from another agent or even from a person, friend of the family, whoever it might be, I want to ask you this question, and you guys can type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and share what made it stand out. What is it that made that referral stand out? Again, you could either drop it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and just share what is it that made that referral stand out. the most memorable one where you were like, wow, man, this is awesome? I mean, I'm sure you guys have gotten referrals before, right?
Yeah, the one I'm waiting for the probate is the referral from down your way.
Okay. All right,
And
cool.
she was an NYPD detective
Hmm.
during 9/11,
Wow.
and she's got stories. She's got stories.
All right. All right, cool. So you got a referral, from a NYPD detective, and it's got some stories. So now reflect on the relationship. Okay, let's just take a moment and the actions that led to this referral. I want you to think, what were the steps that happened that got to the person that picked up the phone or shot you an email or shot you a text message? You know, what tell us a little bit about that relationship that got you to that point.
I don't know the agent who referred her to me. She found me through Women's Council of Realtors.
All right, take notes, everybody. She found Jessica through the Women's Council of Realtors, you said?
Yeah.
So now, was there a person in the Women's Council of Realtors that said your name, or was it an ad that you put, or was it a website? Did you hand out a flyer? Like, backtrack what worked.
I don't really know. Because I get referrals every once in a while. They're mostly rentals, and I don't do rentals. But she was looking. This lady was looking, I guess, down in the Orlando Kissimmee area, and she needed to sell her house in Connecticut. And so she goes, I can find someone for you in Connecticut. And she looked on the Women's Council of Realtors website for, who might be in the area. And she came across my name, and I'm not really sure if she did any research or anything before she called me. But that's just it.
Right, right. And that, hey, listen, that's pretty awesome, and having this insight, how does this shape your understanding in terms of what effective networking could look like for you or anyone who's watching right now, whether it's Danielle or Camila, whatever feedback you have on that, just understanding this.
Um, I have a lot of uh, you know, I went through like, all those like NAR, certificate trainings and stuff like that. And so, I mean, there's a message board for one of them. I think it's Stellar um, Resource, you know, uh, message board or something. So I get, I see the referrals going back and forth through there on that message board. Um, I get referrals through Facebook groups. I get
Hmm.
referrals from just knowing other agents in, other areas. And they just say, they just send me a message on Facebook saying, hey, you want a referral? If I can take it, I will. If it's not my area, then I say, well, here's who you go to,
Got it,
because
got
I
it.
know a lot of people.
Hmm. All right, so folks, what did you hear Jessica say? Come on, there's wisdom in everything, right? It's like you know what they say, the teacher appears when the student is ready. Have you guys ever heard that before? The
Yeah.
teacher the teacher appears when the student is ready. So my encouragement to anyone that's watching, even us four that are here, what are you learning from what Jessica just shared?
Three things. Networking,
Mhm.
networking. So even the slightly remote connection to Women's Council of Realtors, um, the Facebook groups, which I do too, which are great. Um, I was curious about the NAR training because I'm wondering how much your own sort of brand and marketing help to have, a couple of certifications behind your license, if people find you elsewhere.
That was a question for Jessica, or you just
Anybody.
anybody? Okay, go ahead, Jessica, if you want to answer that. Since
Well, I mean, I haven't really had anybody say, hey, you're an accredited buyer representative or whatever, or saying, I have a buyer for you. It's more about relationships with everybody else. Because I have people in other areas that might be in a different Facebook group that I'm not a member of, or, someone posts something on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and then they'd say, they'll tag me, and then I'll see it. And then I'll say, okay, well, that's my area. I can help you out. Or no, this is, so it's more relationship based. It doesn't really, you know, the certifications are great because it's just more education, but I haven't really found that it's really necessary. But if if people are looking you up because you have that certificate, it can be beneficial.
yeah, I think that's the real point. I think the real point is it's like anything else, folks. You have two television sets, right? Or you have, let's say, well, it's a ladies group today. You got two curling irons, girl. So both curling irons, right?
I don't
Oh, okay. Man, I can't. I just can't do the female analogies and metaphors. This is where I need the most help. Okay, this is where I struggle, man. It's like, see, I messed it up again. Well, I tell you, see, I don't know, man. That's why I need God to help me, man. So anyway, so let's say you have two television sets, right? And the one that has the most features and benefits listed next to each television set, even if they're the same size of a TV set, but one has all these little extra features, right? And it's for the same price. Which one has the greater value? Okay. And the greater value is going to be the one that has more features and benefits for the same price. That's how we do our comps. That's how we do our listing presentations. One home compared to another home, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, right? If you have more features and benefits for the same price as the competition, the buyers are going to come to you. So I would say that's really key. So anything that you have that can accentuate or accent your specialties, who you are, what makes you special in the community, what makes you the better choice over the next agent that just puts realtor, right? That just puts the word realtor next to their name. I would say unconsciously, I would look for the more features and benefits simply because of the fact that it shows that the person took the time to write them down. The person took the time to do those extra studies. The person took the time to invest in themselves. Now, that's something that I would say from an outside perspective. Danielle, you want to add something?
No, I think also like my experience, I'm just sharing this with the Facebook leads is every time I'm like, I see someone needing something and I'm like, oh, me, love to help. I got better feedback from like someone else recommending me and then me messaging the person direct and getting the leads that way. That kind of helped because someone's recommending you and then they're like, okay, let's try her. So that's kind of help instead of just like raising my hand, like, yeah, I'd love to help.
Got it. Have you ever seen Facebook posts where multiple agents refer one agent?
Yes. A
Why do you
lot.
think that is?
It
Relationship.
works.
Relationship. Jessica said it. Relationship. There's this one agent there's like an agent in San Francisco, an agent in San Diego, that if you look at all these Facebook groups, their name pops up the most. And I know both of these agents. One of these agents, guess what? They sent me. This dude sent me one of those cool boxes around Father's Day, that it was a box that had like a shaving kit. It was like a man kit. You know, when I got this, I was like, oh, dude, this is awesome, man. It's like, it's not a barbecue grill thing, you know, it's not something to clean the grill, it's not forks and knives, it's not like a bag of seasoning, you know, it's like the typical Father's Day gift. It was like a man's gift. And guess who I recommend for San Francisco? This brother right here, because he stood out the most to me. Okay, so look at it, that everything happens for a reason. Real estate agents are successful and they get tons of referrals for a reason. Don't dismiss it. Pay attention to it. What got you there? Because here's the goal. The goal is, how can we do more of what works? Because I think what's happening in today's market, and any market, is people look at the perspective of, you know, I'm not this, I'm not that, I don't have this kind of income, I don't have that kind of looks, I don't have that kind of whatever, I'm either too tall, too short, too wide, too narrow, whatever the case might be, or whatever limiting belief comes into our mind. And it's none of those things. What it boils down to is what works and what doesn't work. That's it. So when you look at 2023 and you look at 2024, we're 2 months in, we're about to enter the last month of the first quarter. You have to ask yourself, what worked and what didn't work? And the things that worked for you in terms of getting referrals, in terms of building your business, how do we do more of that? How do we create a sequence around it so that we can exponentially grow that system? Because what that means is that you, in your authentic self, just you being who you are, which is awesome, all those great things, people are sending you business. So if we can just keep being awesome, keep being authentic, keep being original, keep being the best version of yourself, and still do more business, is that a win-win?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a win-win. I don't have to become somebody else. I don't have to now become, you know, Russell Brunson or some other dude, or you know, anybody else that's a big marketing guru out there. No, I could just be Rob Corbusier, and that's it. And that's what I want us to focus on, because, you know, when we're learning how to become referral networking masters, right, and cultivating these connections, you know, we want to dive into what is the art of building and nurturing a referral network, and something that's not just beneficial to every single person here and the people that we connect with, but it's also something that's sustainable, right? I know a really cool agent down in Fort Lauderdale, Matt Forelli. And Matt Forelli, okay, this guy, he's not a flashy dude whatsoever, but this gentleman, he built his referral business, and he pulls in really good money in terms of GCI. He does probably close to 10 to 15 in GCI per year, and 10 and 15 million in GCI. And it's simply by having coffee every single day with a different past client or center of influence. That's it. That's all this dude does in Fort Lauderdale. Friendliest dude, used to be a school teacher, great character, awesome personality, warm, but that's all he does. And he crushes it in his business. And when you look at someone like that, it's like it's nothing fancy. It's just, let's have some coffee. Let's get together and connect. But he's connecting with the right people at the right times and delivering the right message. And like gardeners tending to their gardens, or somebody, you know, like astronomers, when they look at their astronomy chart and they're plotting their path, right? Back in the day when they were navigating their ships, we can do the same thing. We can foster a network that grows alongside our business. So as we build out your workflow, which is what we're going to do for how to create a sustainable referral network, I want you to start thinking about your master plan. I want you to start reflecting on what is it that's working for you, you know? And once you understand that, once you figure that out, then the next step we're going to do is I'm going to show you how you can implement those strategies. Because right now, as we go into you know, an event that's coming up in the next week, we're going to meet a ton of agents if you're attending the event. we're going to meet a ton of people. That's a big networking event, massive networking event. And what you want to do is take advantage of every business card that you collect, every phone that you scan, everything that you do in terms of capturing somebody's information. You want to make the most of it. Does that make sense, folks? Put one in the chat, or you can raise your hand, give me a thumbs up. Either way is fine. All right, cool. So let's jump into it. And as usual, guys, want to give thanks to our sponsor for our trainings. And our sponsor is Follow Up Beast. If you guys have not had the opportunity to check out Follow Up Beast, I really, really recommend that you do it. Real estate agents are consistently now setting anywhere between 2 to 3 appointments per day using this system, because the system automates the lead follow-up, it automates the lead generation, it creates opportunities, and pretty much the agent just has to jump in, close the deal, set up the appointment, and you're done. And it's pretty much cutting your time in half, not more than half. It's like cutting where typical lead generation is 3 to 4 hours every single morning on the phones. Now you can get an answer within 10 minutes, basically, from a for sale by owner or an expired listing. So I don't know, 3 to 4 hours, 10 minutes, 3 to 4 hours, 10 minutes. I think it's a no-brainer. So if you haven't checked out the platform, check it out. See what it is that you need to do, so that this way you can either sign up or schedule a demo, try the 14-day demo, explore, look under the hood, and make a decision from there. So that's our little word for our sponsor. And then we're going to jump right into it. What I do, and I've done this every single time I've attended family reunion, okay, as an agent versus as a leadership. You know, when I was in leadership as a team leader, it was a different conversation. But as a real estate agent, every time I attended, whether it was a Mike Ferry one-on-one retreat, whether it was a productivity school or any kind of training, the first thing I did is I always needed to have something to capture the person's information, right? I think that's a no-brainer, but sometimes we don't realize how important that is, because you know, there's different mediums of capturing it. Some people just collect business cards, and they just keep collecting business cards, and then it just piles up, and you travel home and you have a suitcase with 200 business cards, and now in your mind you're thinking, holy cow, I gotta type all those, right? I gotta type all those things in. And back in the days, people would actually hire a high school student or a college student, you know, or an ISA, and say, hey, listen, can you type these things in and put them into my database so I can reach out to people? Today you have card scanners, right? You have different business card scanners. Today you have QR codes. You have different ways of capturing a person's information. And that's the one thing that I want to encourage you to start researching. You can, there are different QR softwares out there that allow you, right, to create a QR code that you can simply capture their information, and it sends them a business card. So I'll just show you one that I've used for a long time. So we're talking about capturing, and this is QR Factory that I use. I'm on a Mac, if you guys were wondering. But with this software here, QR Factory, you just pick what it is that you want to use, right? So I'd say, boom, person, right? So the person right here, basically it's a V card, and you can look up on Google QR code that delivers a V card, right? You just type in your name, Robert, so on and so forth. You fill in each field, you drop your phone number, you drop your URL, everything that would go on a V card, okay? And now all a person has to do is scan this QR code, and it drops a V card into their cell phone, okay? So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is, let's say I'm talking to Camila, and I'm having a conversation, and I say, well, hey, listen, let me text you my contact information, right? So then if I'm texting her, I'm capturing her cell phone, and I'm typing in her name, and then all I need is just her email. So now I got a name, phone number, and an email, whatever is the fastest for you, because the ultimate goal is speed. If you can walk in and in one day you can capture 100 people, okay, 100 conversations, 100 connections, then that would be the best approach that you can do. Because then on a 3-day event, now you have 300 people. Okay, another tool that one of our agents, LJ Kennedy, he's out from the KW, give him a shout out, in Spokane, Washington, is Hi Hello. I've never used this app, but it's a real, it seems very cool, and he uses it for his events and so on and so forth. So thank you, LJ, for recommending that. LJ Kennedy out in Spokane, Washington. And basically you just create your personal card or your work card, and a person can scan it, and it captures their information as well too, and you can go vice versa. So that's a real cool feature to have in terms of setting things up. Okay, have like a QR code or something real snazzy like this. And if you have the professional version, then you can sync it into Follow Up Beast. Okay, so now we're going to jump into, we talked about capturing the information. And for those of you guys who are watching right now, if you want to continue watching this, just put hashtag VIP in the comments so that we can load you in, because we're going to be jumping into VIP mode and continuing with the class. So this way our VIP members can ask questions and connect. And VIP is simple, folks. $7 first month, $47 thereafter, or you could just cancel and check out all the classes and get direct access to me. And so we're going to be switching, and you could just put hashtag VIP and we'll drop the link so that you guys can be able to watch the rest of this and how we build out the workflow. Okay, so let me switch over. So I stop this feed here. Whoops. For all the technology stuff I have going on. Let me stop this share.